championship pair gleaming. So are the bowling balls, especially this gold one that Steve Jaros now puts his fingers into. 28 years old, 2 championships. And now Pete Weber, the 31-year-old that wasn't even born when we started this series in 1962. But he's won 21 titles. He's ready on his second sweep of the Triple Crown.
Pete Weber with that kind of patented profile, but he's made a big change this year. I think he's really improved his game. His backswing used to be straight up here, and I just know you won't last a long time in professional bowling, and yet what he has to do is get it a little shorter as it's quickly up for the spare.
Well, it was a straight line to that 10 pin to mark with a spare in his first frame. Representatives of all phases of the bowling world, other proprietors where we've had telecasts this year, manufacturers, bowling officials, and Pete Weber. Crossover, the 3.
Pretty evenly matched championship here. You see Pete Weber playing that patented big hook, sends it out to the right-hand edge, gets a good break as he breaks up the 310 baby split, simple spare.
Stuck a little bit at the line. But he is marked now with 2 spares, whereas Steve Jaros of Bolingbrook, Illinois, his best finish this year was 8th in the Quaker State. It's his second Tournament of Champions, his first telecast of 1994, overall his 5th TV appearance. So he has one on each side of the head pin.
Well, you see the 4-step delivery of Steve Jaros, very deliberate, a low-maintenance swing. He's up here in a very simple position, shoulder high with his swing, and he gets a terrific break on this particular shot as he pulls it left of target, crosses over to the 1-2 pocket, and he has an 11-pin lead after 2 frames.
Leaving a 7-pin. His 2 victories, both Choice Hotel Classic.
Sideboard and mixes between the 2, 4, 5, and 7 and doesn't quite take out the 7. Steve Jaros with a spare will have a 10-pin lead.
So the rollerblading, the rollerblader when not bowling, takes a rest, and Pete Weber now looking for his first strike in this first match. Frame 3.
You see that deep inside line he's playing on the approach, the extreme left.
All right, there it is. Look at Kim. And a win today would help Pete Weber toward a bowling first. He would almost own the PBA's only double Triple Crown.
Well, it would mean to me that I'm one step closer to completing the Triple Crown twice, give me 2 Tournament of Champions victories, along with my 2 U.S. Open victories and 1 national. Look out next year at the Nationals.
All right. He has 2 United States Open titles.
Well, he's got to get by this first match, Chris, and looks like he's struggling a little bit on the left-hand lane. He sends it wide, almost leaves the 2, 4, 8, 10s. The 6 just chops the 10 out at the last moment. A tough spare here in the 4th.
He's normally a very fast bowler, but his tempo has picked up some, I notice, here in this first match. Tournament of Champions sponsor General Tire. Played host to last year's champ, George Branham III. George learned a lot. Here he listens to a researcher analyze tire performance and response. House here at Riviera Lanes, which has been redone. I mean, refurbished, beautified, for the 30th Tournament of Champions. Steve Jaros leading by 10. Spare up. First split of this TFC.
4, 6, 7.
Well, you could almost see that coming in the second frame as Jaros went right across on the left side of the head pin, and this time he cuts right through the middle. He has 4-7. All he can do is hit in the 4-7 zone. He doesn't have the ball speed even to bounce it out, so he's just going to go for the count and keep the match close.
All right, it's an open frame that changes the situation. Steve Jaros tells what a win here would mean. Nothing but success for his future.
Would give me my first major, and that would be such a thrill. That would definitely give me a big stepping stone as to getting back here full time again, which is something that I'm looking forward to doing.
Trailing by 4. Bo, with bad luck back to back, you come up with a
shot. He plays it a little bit lighter, and he gets the wall shot 7-10. He's quickly up on the approach, just going for the 10 pin, and that's all he can do. He's going to be trailing by at least 15 pins with this spare.
All right. Started out with a double, marked with a spare, and then back-to-back open frames. Pete Weber, known to jump on errors, takes a 15-pin lead, spare working, shooting in the 5th frame, first game. Broke up the 7-10.
Shot very similar to what Steve Jaros had in the 5th frame. The head pin goes to the sideboard. As you see Pete going very wide, and then quite get back to the 1-3 pocket. Takes out the left side, but avoids the 7-10 split.
A little while ago, we mentioned last year's champion George Branham III at the General Tire plant. He finished 48th this year, winning $2,050. He, last year, you may remember, defeated Parker Bone III, 227 to 214 for the TFC title. Now this.
The 2-8-10. He was flirting with that shot before when he left the 2-4-8 in the previous frame over there. Watch the ball going just way too wide and goes too far down the lane. Takes the sharp break, but he needed another 2 feet. He's in trouble.
So we are all even now after a 15-pin lead. Pete Weber in an open frame in the 6th. Getting a breath of fresh air now, Steve Jaros. Another opportunity presented right here.
Well, the averages for the players on this pair, you see Jaros average 237, Weber 232. They're nowhere near that today. The pressure is taking over at this point.
There is his mother, Helen, having come in from Illinois just this morning to watch her only child perform.
Once again, the head pin does the big damage over in the left-hand corner. Watch the 7 pin, the last pin remaining. It gets twisted among the 4 and the 8. This still takes out the 7. On tough conditions like this, Chris, it actually favors Steve Jaros. He has less experience than Weber, but with a actually shorter backswing, he has a very good chance to keep it in play.
So 2 and sleeper 8.
Well, what's happened for both players is the oil or conditioner has been carried down the lane from the front part. It's usually heavier on the front part. They practice for an hour. It carried down past their break point. Now when they give it room, it hangs out wide for the 2 pin. We saw that last week in Toronto. We're once again seeing it again this week. Oh, that was ugly.
Not even close.
Too much bowling ball, huh?
Well, you're right, Chris. You have to trust the spares.
Golly.
Steve Jaros throws a very slow shot, and he doesn't even touch either the 2 or the 8. Trails by 14.
All right, 14 pins separate them. We're near Cleveland, and as you may know, Cleveland is home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Canton, of course, the National Football Hall of Fame. Well, now, the National Inventors Hall of Fame has come to Akron. Inventure Place opens its doors in July of next year.
Championships, next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
31-year-old Pete Weber, one of the 3 Triple Crown champions, ready to shoot, leading by 14. 7th frame. That's more of the Pete Weber shot. Celebrating 25 years in the Tournament of Champions. The 2nd Triple Crown winner, Johnny Petraglia. Here he is.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy. What's up?
Well, hey, if you win $65,000 in the general today, and since you don't have any kids and you're a friend of my son, will you pay half the bill?
Sure, John, because if I win today, I'll be rich like you.
He's ready to get rich, Chris. Back to you.
Randy Peterson.
Uh-oh. Now Webber gets
No scouts
the
in the
7-10.
building. And we have a 7-10, and Pete laughs. Nervous laugh.
Once again, we see the 7-10. Mark Roth made this 1980. Pete Weber would just like to get one of these pins right now to stay ahead in the match. Pete won't even go for it. He'll just try to knock the 10 out. There you go.
Ooh. That's a good effort, though.
The 1 pin was more important than trying to make the 2, because the 1 pin allows him to stay 2 pins ahead in the match. If he had missed both pins, the match had been even. Pretty smart shot by Peter. Once again, we see under pressure a tournament important game going to the 9th and 10th frames. Low scoring, but somebody has to win.
High hit. Here in this match, we've had 5 open
Jaros.
frames. It's the first one of the afternoon. The winner will meet Randy Peterson, then on to Norm Duke, and then our tournament leader is Eric Forkel.
The players were expecting this ball to hold right here. As they were practicing before they went on the championship round, the ball would set up right there. Right now it's breaking high. When they give it room, it will not come back.
You know, tonight, we invite you to catch a special episode of America's Funniest Home Videos on a special night and time. Then William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy star in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Saturday night movie starts at 8:30, 7:30 Central, right after videos tonight, right here on ABC.
Just 2 pins separate this opening match. General Tire Tournament of Champions, 9th frame.
Hanging on the channel, the ball hooking in, leaving the 7.
Well, you could tell by Steve Jaros' reaction. He knew he threw that very well and got a really bad break as he left the solid 7. During the tournament week, the lanes were a little tougher in the morning and scored better at night, but we can't wait till night, boys. Got to start hitting them right now. Look out. Inexcusable.
6th open frame of the first game.
You're talking to a man who has about a man who has the lowest game ever rolled in the championship round. Steve Jaros bowled a 129 in the Brunswick Memorial a few years back, and right now he has opened the door for Pete Weber, as Pete's only going at a 172 pace, but that could be enough to win the match. Here we go, 9th frame.
I hit 3-6-10.
Yikes.
All right, let's project for Pete Weber. Although he's struggling, highlight, Jaros has opened the door a number of times. It's a matter of Pete to step in and close that door on him. He needs his 2 marks to lock up this match.
Randy Peterson of Hollywood, Florida waits for the winner. Now Pete Weber polishing that orange sphere.
Pete needs 17 pins here in the 10th. In other words, 7 spare strike to lock out Jaros, or Jaros could still throw 3 strikes and win. Here we go, 10th frame. Oh my goodness, Chris, let's look at this scoreboard. There's actually strategy involved. Pete Weber, if he goes for the spare and gets 9, can lock out Jaros. You see Pete going wide here and leaves the 210. However, if he just goes for the single pin and gets 9, 159, he will force Jaros to double. I would go for the 1 pin, don't shoot for the split.
Right.
He gave it a 50-50 shot, a very smart move. Jaros needs 2 strikes.
Something even less attractive was the low score here this week. I won't say who did it. 123.
All right, for Steve Jaros, he struggled the whole match. He needs 2 strikes and 2 pins. Obviously, the hardest thing is the strikes. He hasn't been close on this lane.
That's
not to be. Pete Weber is going to win the opening match of the General Tire Tournament of Champions with 159. The best Jaros can do is 158.
A low 159 as this ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC station. Weber against Peterson.
Roll Tire.